What's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review, and today we're reviewing the Marmit Godzilla 1984. Now, this is one of the older Marmots. This isn't the new Marmot that came out by Diamond, but I'll be getting to that review next week. But this was my very first Marmot that I've ever gotten. Marmots was something I really, and not that I really didn't want to get into it, but something I really didn't want to step into right away because, of course, there's Bandai, there's SH Monster Arts, there's X Plus, everything else that I collect and everything. It just kind of, you kind of just want to pick your battles on what you really want to invest your money into. But because of the G Fest prior to this last one, I got the M1 Titanosaurus, and that was pretty much my first kind of bizarre, not accurate looking figure. M1s and Marmots are different from each other, but and so then that this year was kind of like, well, let me get another kind of bizarre, not accurate looking, Godzilla figure. Something that's multicolored, something just something that's I like to call them pieces of art. Of course, every figure out there is a piece of art. I mean, you got X Plus, whether it's X Plus Bandai, SH Monster Arts, there is all these artistic values that go into it. But like figures like Marmots and M1s, and the Marmot Parababies and a few of those other figure lines that are out there that are kind of like this, all in the same category, um, or Bullmark even. Those are kind of like, golly, I hope I'm using this term right, the Picassos of the Godzilla figurine collection. They're kind of like just those offset, figures. They're these offset works of art, and that's why I call them kind of the Picassos of the Godzilla figure collection. They're just bizarre. They're multicolored. They're not accurate. They have weird shapes to their certain body parts, like their arms and their legs and their tails and their heads. And then of course the colors are kind of bizarre. So I mean they're works of art in their own way. And again, just from getting the M1 Titanosaurus this previous year, I was like, well, let me get another bizarre figure this year. And here is my first Marmot, the Godzilla Marmot 1984. Enough about me blabbering. Let's get right on into this figure review. Here's the header card that came with the figure. Very nice header card. Figure came out in 2004, so this is a little bit of an older figure. Has the sticker for 2004 right there. But, very nice header card. And this, of course, is just the bag that it came in. But without further ado, let's get on into the figure itself. Again, Marmot, the Picassos pretty much of the Godzilla collection figures out there. I'm just going to call it that. Again, they're offset. They're not accurate, but you can tell what type of monster or what version of Godzilla it's supposed to represent. You can easily tell that this is supposed to be Godzilla in 1984 from Return of Godzilla. Very nicely well done. Let's just go straight on into paint job. Again, paint job, it's not accurate, of course. It's got its blacks and stuff in there, but Godzilla is kind of like this turquoise greenish color, kind of like a turquoise aquish green. So, that right there sticks out. Very nice looking. Teeth are white, and his eyes are actually kind of a gold. It's going to be kind of hard to see in there unless the light hits it just right. But his eyes are actually kind of like a gold color, of course, with the black pupils and whatnot. And, again, you got the blacks and then the aquish green turquoise colors. His spines, have silver worked into them. And then same with his claws on his hands and his feet. They are also touched with silver. And, that's about it for paint job. So, again, not accurate, but that's what Marmots and M1s and so on and Bullmarks, Parababies, that's what they're all about. Is supposed to be, offset colors, not accurate, deformed, looking figures. Again, they're kind of the Picassos of the Godzilla figures. Anyway, on to detail. All of Godzilla's skin detail is there, very nicely and scaly, very nicely well done. Again, almost Godzilla doesn't even look like he has a neck here. Almost kind of looks like it's all one mold, but his neck very nicely well done. Chest, arms are a little short and stubby, which they always are on Godzilla, but what really sticks out on this figure that's really short and stubby is, of course, the tail. Tail, very nice, short and stubby, kind of curves up here at an angle. Spines, very nicely well done. You can definitely tell that those are the 1984 spines. Teeth, very nicely etched in the sculpt. Face, again, you can definitely tell that this is the Marmit 84, or duh, it's the Marmit 84, but you can definitely tell that this is Godzilla 1984. There. So, very nice detail all the way around. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. So again, my first Marmot figure. I love it. Articulation. Again, these figures really aren't made for articulation. I mean, they do have articulation points, but they're not really supposed to be action figures. Again, these are really kind of the Picassos, works of art of the Godzilla collection. So you got, arms can rotate, up or down, however you might want to pose this guy. You can kind of pose him with his hands up or something like that, like going woo or something. I don't know. But, arms you can move up and down. You could probably rotate them all the way around, but just the way that the arms are shaped and molded, you'd probably end up rubbing against the sides. Legs, you can kick out. You can't really move back because of the tail, so you can pretty much only kick forward, move them out forward, both. And then the tail, of course, the tail's really a stiff joint, and I can't really hardly get it to move at all, but there is another, joint there, tail. I'm sure if I really wanted to force it, I probably could get it to turn, but I really don't want to do that, so I'm not going to bother. And so, anyway, that's about it for this figure. Really no point in scaling this guy with someone else because, again, they're kind of M1s, bull marks, marmots, parababies. They're kind of all in their own class of figures. And really, you don't really, you're not really going to be playing with any of these figures. These are really meant for the, really hardcore collectors. You say, X Plus and stuff like that also is too. But it's like, I want to say stuff like this, Bullmark, Parababies, Marmot, M1s, X Plus, stuff like that really is kind of for the hardcore collectors because that's stuff that you're really not going to be messing with. You're not really going to be doing stop motion or, you're not really going to be playing with any of those figures. So it's like this stuff really is meant for the actual collectors. So there's really no point in sizing them up, but I will tell you the scale of the figure just by, bringing out a ruler. Let's turn the ruler on the right side here. So Godzilla comes to, he actually is just a scunch over 7 inches. He's a scunch over 7 inches tall. So that's how tall this figure is. And and the reason I'll do the scale this way is just because, certain people, depending on what they collect, sometimes people like to collect bigger figures. Sometimes people like to collect smaller figures. It just depends on what they can afford and how much space they have. So, I mean, if you're interested in this Marmot or, kind of Marmots that are probably in the same scale, now you know the actual, size of the figure and you kind of know how much space he'll probably take up. He's not going to be much of a shelf hog because, his tail is really short and stubby. So you don't have to worry about size that way. But as far as height and stuff, he's just a little over 7 inches. Not bad. So anyway, you guys, that about does it for my review on this Marmot Godzilla 1984 figure. Again, I really like it. I really dig it. 1984 is one of my favorite Godzilla designs. I really like it, and it's a really awesome figure. And my first Marmot figure at that. Anyway, you guys, that is about all I got. Like always, hope you enjoyed this review. We are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next figure review. Thank you for watching. Sorry about the header card falling.